This is the Oakwyn Podcast, featuring Morgan Brown and Michael Yu.
Welcome to the Oakwyn Podcast. I'm Morgan Brown.
Michael Yu.
And I'm the Podfather.
And before we get started, if you guys have a second, go to Oakwyn on your podcast platform and rate us 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
We'd love to hear from you.
We're needy.
And we're needy. So feel free to rate us 5 out of 5 on your platform of choice, and we would appreciate that.
Yeah, and if you're curious to learn more about Oakwyn, or if you have an agent friend of yours that should learn more about Oakwyn, what do we do?
You go to oakwyn.com/join and put in that message box Evolve 2020, and one of our leaders will reach out to that person.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Well, we are here.
Yeah, we're here.
Drinking beer
We're
today
having some
again.
beers.
This
Yeah.
is such
Yeah.
a, like, first of all, do you guys judge a book by its cover and choose by the...
Absolutely.
Yeah? Do
you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all about the looks. I don't care about the like in what's inside.
This is good.
Yeah, is
Yeah.
it? What is it?
It's an IPA.
It's like super flux. I think there's a little bit of I think that one has a little bit
Gigantic.
of the what do you call it? When it's like
A little
lactose.
milky. Yeah.
It's not milky, but it's like it has like that kind of culture in it, yeast culture or whatever.
Yeah, I just asked Tiff to get some beers from Superflux, and she like before the podcast.
Oh,
And then,
nice.
Yeah, so
Tiff
she
is
just
the best.
yeah. So
If anyone knows,
yeah,
Tiff is the best.
yeah. So Tiff's our
Call out.
yeah. Big shout out to Tiff's, who's at HQ, our like
Front of
our
house.
front of house there. So she's awesome. She's just the best. Does all the little extra stuff.
Yeah,
Makes
she's the
everyone feel
best.
special.
She's the best.
So she got us these beers.
Thanks,
today.
Tiff.
Yeah,
Thanks, Tiff.
yeah.
I
Cheers,
talked to-
guys.
Cheers.
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 Clink, clink,
To
clink, clink, clink.
what?
Well, to hopefully a successful episode, right?
Yeah,
here.
exactly. Cheers
How
to
about
good
cheers to
podcasting.
March Madness?
Yeah,
sure.
okay. March Madness.
Because it's going to be crazy.
Wait, is that an F1 thing? Am I missing something?
No, it's a basketball thing, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's a basketball
Oh yeah,
thing.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
But it's also like I think March is historically one of our busiest months.
Yeah, it's the spring market
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. I think people right before spring break and right after spring break.
Yeah,
it goes
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. I find that the kick, this is just in my experience, but the kickoff to the real estate market is kind of like the Chinese New Year. Maybe it's because I'm Chinese, but like Chinese New Year kind of kicks off the because that's early in February, and that's
Yeah.
when it starts to percolate. But it really gets prime time in March and April. May.
April,
Yeah.
busy April.
Yeah.
Yeah, busy April. I think April and May, you don't want to leave the city.
No.
It's the time to work.
Yeah, it just depends. We did this with I did this with Robin's business, and I think we did it with yours, just to look at kind of what quarters you're selling the most in.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And I feel like it's a great way of keeping track. And the best thing to do is, if you're a seasoned agent out there, take your last 3 to 5 years and go back. And on my team, I did just something really simple. I just took a spreadsheet on Google Sheets, and I just put, whenever we do a sale, we put in the name and the quarter.
Right.
And we kind of go by the month and have our month targets and everything like that. But it's great for us to keep track of everything.
Yeah. So I've tracked that since the start of my business. So like looking when I could actually take a break. So which quarters was I really busy? Which quarters was I not so busy? And it kind of stayed really consistent.
What's your least?
My lease is the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I joke around because I do my budgeting and stuff like that early in the year. So I'm like, wow, I got a lot of expenses. I got to make a lot of money this year. And so like, it normally ramps up in Q1, and then Q2 is good. And then Q3 is like a little bit less, cause I've like been pressuring myself so much. And then Q4, I'm just like, I'm done.
Yeah. Q2 and 3 are my busiest.
Yeah.
And Q1 and 2 are just like kind of my sizzling down, sizzling up.
So I've just started taking vacations, but so I
Yeah.
always take vacations now, like last 2 weeks of the summer and the last 2 weeks of the year, or 3 weeks of the year. I take those times off because I'm not really selling so much, urgent real estate kind of stuff.
Yeah. I like to sprinkle my vacations in the whole
Yeah, you're
year.
pretty. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
pretty
I
like.
sprinkle them.
I like the sprinkle method.
Yeah.
It's all because then I just just depends. And now that my kids don't have to quarantine, so it's kind of like I'm easy. I can get in and out really quick.
Yeah.
I can come back and they don't have to quarantine. It's fine. What a weird thing to think that we all had to do that for so many years. But it's been 2 years for COVID. It's nuts.
Yeah.
And I think vacation now, my dad just finished his house in Hawaii, which is really fun.
Oh wow. Okay.
So
When
he's kind of trying to get me to come and help him because he's like,
okay.
doesn't know
Is
what
he
to
in
do.
Hawaii or is he?
No,
where-
he's here. He's here.
Okay.
And he's like, do you think you can come? And
This is the house by the lava.
It's
and
like- he
Yeah.
does not
In
have
the lava
insurance.
field.
It really is.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't have insurance on
Yeah,
it,
there's
and
a
that's
lava
it.
stream, right?
But those times are really precious for me with my dad too, right? Like I like even though we're not really spending time working together because I'm like putting stuff together. But he like Sean was so funny this weekend, guys. This is just a side note. He's like, you know, when it's crazy when your moving buddy is a 7-year-old Filipino man because he was moving all of the stuff out of our basement because we're redoing our basement into the garage, and I'm like, my dad is like 75 and he's like lifting up these huge cabinets like nuts. We were gonna call you, but your
Yeah.
leg is
My leg
ruined.
was. Now I'm healed.
Okay, now I definitely
Yeah,
am
now that
calling
you
you're
can
you.
call
done
me
moving.
anytime. Now that all the
Definitely
heavy
calling.
lifting is done, I'm there for you, and I'll bring my swimming trunks.
Yeah.
I will.
Sean, I told that to Sean the other day. I was like, Mike really wants to get in the laundry. He's like, you can come over and done. Like, you guys are gonna be in here all the time, and I'll
Yeah.
be left out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we'll be. I won't even. I'm not even gonna ask. I'm just gonna show up and like, yeah, I
You
borrowed
can.
Sean's swimming trunks again. They're ripped.
You can.
Gotta go.
Are you a pop by? Like, do you like people popping by your house? Or do you not?
I personally don't mind it. I actually am like, oh yeah, sure, come on over.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
then like when I was living alone in East Van, I'm like, oh, people come over anytime.
Yeah.
But then I think
Pre's not
Bree is
into it,
not
man.
into it.
I know, because I was like, I always like want to like leave stuff on your doorstep and run away.
Like a
'Cause
dog,
I'm like, I'm
like a
scared.
flaming dog food. Oh shit, another one of these.
I actually really don't mind. I like people stopping by. Like when you stopped by, I was so happy.
Yeah.
And you
yeah,
just
you
pop
came
by. I was like, come by anytime.
Say hi. Here's some donuts.
Yeah.
Show me your house.
I love it. I love it.
Fresh Prince house.
Robin always stops by my house.
Oh really?
He's like in between showings. He comes for a cappuccino. You ask. He's
You're
like,
not
"This
even
is
home.
it." Yeah. Sean's a little bit of both. If he's busy, he wants to still be. He's so like needs to be like in his work, but most of the time he's okay with it.
Yeah.
How about you?
Me, yeah, I love it. I love. I've got such a good community here of like, yeah, friends and parents and stuff
Yeah.
that we just like. Yeah, we'll
Oh.
just show up at each other's houses and be
That's
like,
cool.
oh, have a couple beers, and yeah, okay, I wasn't doing anything.
Right.
Yeah, one beer turns into 6 beers. That's what happens at my house. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my god, we like look like such alcoholics right now.
Because like the
Okay,
cans.
this is what Sean. Okay, tell me what you think about this.
Okay. All right.
I don't know if I should bring this up. Basically, we were like in the garage, and he's like, "Do you think I should go and bring this back to the depot and like get the money for it?" And I said, "Sean, I don't know." And he's like, "We have so many liquor bottles, like it's crazy. We actually have because we ended up having people over, and people like we went through like I think 9 bottles of red wine this weekend.
This weekend? How many people did you? Oh, you had
I said people
you had a
over.
lot of people over. Okay.
Yeah, and then they all took a little chocolate."
Oh yeah.
And they're all like, I can't, but everyone
Yeah.
else is like devoured. And I was like, why is everyone at my house right now?
I still the chocolates that you bought me. I still haven't taken them.
Oh, they're
I'm
like,
like
they're
kind of scared.
sleepy.
I'm like kind of because I don't know if I'm like I just haven't found a block of time
Yeah.
to be like blotto.
Yeah.
need a
You
good
gotta, you
block of
gotta, yeah,
time.
you
Yeah,
gotta take it.
like-
It was like comatose.
Yeah.
Just gonna like stop. You can just blow her name out because she
Yeah?
told me not to bring her up all the time.
Oh really? How about her sex
Yeah,
life?
we can beat that up.
How about that? Like,
that out for
yeah,
me.
let's talk about her. Like, let's talk about all her picadillos. Oh, she had those weird fetishes, right?
This whole podcast.
Exactly.
So good. Anyways, yeah. So do you think you should take back bottles?
You know what? I
This is
okay.
a West
So
Side question.
so I basically because in our neighborhood
Yes.
there's like there's a
A
guy
homeless
that's on
guy?
a bike and he's an older Asian guy and he comes and he just picks up the bottles. I'm like, oh shit, sure, like
Yeah.
like, that's
That's great.
cool for me. Like I don't
that's what
mind
we
that.
had on the east side.
So that's kind of how I kind of just I don't because like lugging all that sticky
That's what Sean
bottles.
said. Sean's like, do I look
It's,
old?
a lot,
Like,
it's
do
very
I, like-
sticky. It's like
No
and
way.
like you gotta get your
Absolutely
car. Okay, if you're gonna like get $20, you get your car wash for $35. because it's so sticky.
I said to Sean, it's a cost analysis benefit. Do you think that $10 is going to change your life?
Yeah, like how many times have you guys
$10.
talked on the podcast about like how are you spending your time wisely?
That's what I
Yeah.
said
Are
to
you
Sean.
spending an
I
hour
said,
to
Sean,
get $10?
$10 to go down to the depot? I
Yeah.
don't know, man.
Well, you know, if you take joy out of it, I think because some people like, oh yeah, like this is fun, like it's something to do.
Who says this is fun going to the bottle?
I don't
depot?
know. I feel like some people enjoy
Okay,
it.
I will tell you something
Like
right
my
now.
sister, like
Yeah.
my sister loves it. Like my eldest sister,
Yeah.
she
A.
Yeah. Like she'll like text me the receipt and like I made $30, and I'm like, that's great. But she enjoys it, so like that's cool.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy
I
going to
think
the depot.
he's getting out all from my neighborhood because all the guys are all old white men and they're all like, yeah, like they're all like they all are like, you know, they all are wealthy people and they still do that stuff. And I'm like, okay. And they're all wearing like Doc Martens.
Oh, Doc Martens.
Yeah.
I thought you said Crocs. I'm like,
Oh,
oh, that's
Crocs.
my
That's your
house.
vibe. Yeah. That's your side.
Yeah, that's my side.
Doc
We
Crocs.
literally live one block left. I live like one block left and he's just like 6 blocks up.
Yeah,
it's
so
not that far.
we're very close.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like better where I am. But anyways,
I don't think that.
it's like
He knows it's a lie. That's the funny thing.
There's a lot more sunlight. And, no, I'm
It
just
is a
saying.
lot worse. I'm like, I have such big trees around me.
Yeah,
and
you're
they
pretty
trees are
accurate.
I'm
crazy.
just joking. I'm just joking.
Mine
You know, it's
doesn't have
better
a
where you
bus
are.
going by me. Okay. Okay.
Okay, children.
Well-
okay.
Some people enjoy that.
Mike's moving in like T-minus 5 minutes.
No. I'm not. I'm sticking around for a while.
I think you should move on my block.
Oh yeah.
There's a house that just came up.
Oh really?
Yeah. You should move on my block.
Fresh Prince's house.
No. So funny.
That's
Actually, you should
that's what
move on
I've dubbed-
McDonald's.
That's what I've dubbed Morgan's house is French
It's a
Prince's
Fresh
house.
Prince.
Yeah,
Because it's like- it's like
totally. got the
90s
pillars.
Dun,
Fresh
dun, dun,
Prince,
dun,
yeah.
dun.
Yeah.
I love my house so
you-
much.
Yeah, your husband's Carlton. You're the Fresh Prince, I think.
Yeah. I'm like I'm none of them people. I'm like the dad. I'm like the dad.
Uncle
being like,
Phil?
I'm Uncle Phil.
Okay. Okay.
I don't see
yeah,
that.
I mean,
I think of you
yeah,
more
I
as the
don't know.
Fresh Prince.
Oh, really? I'm like the
Yeah.
crazy one that kind of was trying to make it in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
You're
you know,
cool,
like,
too,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Oh, cool.
Also, you rap a lot.
yeah.
Okay, back to revenue streams.
Yeah, what we're talking about here. So,
So revenue streams. Okay, so what are your 3 top revenue streams in your business?
yeah, so let's define what a revenue stream
Yes.
is first. So basically, when you what a revenue stream is in a real estate business specifically is like how you're obtaining your clients. So like what methods are you using? How are you actually obtaining clients? So like whether that's listing or a buyer, like how did you get that listing? How do you get that buyer? So my number one revenue stream is past clients
Mhm.
and sphere of influence. So like sphere of influence, past clients, I kind of map into the same one.
Mhm.
So obviously being in the business for being a realtor
15?
for 15, this is 16 years now.
Whoa, and he's
Yeah.
turning 40.
Yeah, I'm turning 40 this year.
I keep on thinking about that. It's really weird. I keep on
Cat's
thinking
out of the
about that
bag.
for you. It's weird.
yeah.
I keep on being like, he's turning 40. It's
That's weird. I don't feel 40.
You don't feel 40. You don't feel 40. Like
Yeah.
I'm not joking.
Is
Yeah.
40 even over the hill now, or is that now 50?
I don't know.
It's
like
not over the hill. It's just I think 40 is a little bit. It's like, it's very like I don't know. 40 is an interesting. 40 to 50 is supposedly the best time of your life. Like, and then 50 you're supposed to like not work.
oh yeah. I'm gonna be working till I'm dead.
Me too.
Yeah, like I will never retire.
Yeah.
I don't plan on not working. Like even when I'm like 85, I'll still be working. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're gonna be like
Mhm.
40. Do you feel different because you're 40?
No, I feel like I
Turning
kind of
40, yeah.
I kind of like before I turned 30, I actually had kind of like a weird crisis. But then
Tell us
like,
about that, Mike.
Yeah, let's.
So like because in my 20s, I think have I shared this before on the pod?
Maybe
Yeah, maybe. But just okay. Anyways,
old.
yeah. So before I turned 30, like I spent my entire 20s just like working, like because dad just passed away. I was trying to establish myself. I was trying to help my family. So like I focused all my attention, all my time on working. I didn't take a vacation. I didn't take care of my health. I just worked and worked and worked and worked. And so that's all I did. So I did that between like, basically for all of my 20s. And when I turned 29, I was like, man, I have not had any fun.
Yeah, it's like, how did that come to you? Was it like, whoa, I don't have any, like...
I think because, like, I don't know. I think it was kind of like, maybe it was just a psychological marker that I was turning 30 and I actually didn't have any fun. Like,
yes.
I didn't do, like, a big travel thing. Like, when I, sat down with, like, Robin and he, like, lived in, Southeast Asia for this time. I'm like, oh, man, that's so cool. And, like, my other friends are like, I lived here. Like, I lived in Europe. I traveled in this. And I said, wow, I didn't do any of that stuff. I know. Basically was just, like, at door knocking. I was like, I just door knocked for like 20 years, like for all my 20s.
10 years.
Yeah, door
knocking.
I gotta. so basically, yeah. So I kind of made that a marker. So I said I gotta have some fun. So I like extracted all my major expenses. So like like I had a big office in my old brokerage and stuff like that. I kind of just dwindled and assistant and everything like that. So I just kind of like whittled it down and then I just had fun for a whole year.
Arlene calls it a YOLO year.
Yeah, I called it my YOLO year.
Nice.
So I had fun. Like I never really dated very much, as well. So I was like, oh, I want to like go on some dates. And
he was on a super date. He was like, super dates.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna date.
Like speed dating?
Not speed dating, but then like if I, like for example.
Oh, there you go.
What?
Nothing. This is working. It's okay.
Like if like I would go to like. Let's say I would go to, like the grocery store or a restaurant or something like that, and then I would notice someone. I would be like, I'm too scared. I can't. I'm just gonna like read my book or whatever. I would be like, okay, now this is an opportunity. So then I would like approach them and talk to them and stuff like that.
But Mike's such a good-looking Asian guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you
right.
are. Because I'm not saying that.
You're
I'm not
dashing.
joking. I'll tell you the truth. You know me. I'm as blunt
You're
as
drunk.
can be. You're like
you guys are wasted.
but I'm sure that when a girl comes, or you like approach somebody, they're probably like, "Whoa."
No, I've never got that.
Priya.
She wasn't like, whoa. She's like, oh. Yeah. He's probably.
I could
make
him.
I could be like his friend. And I'm
What?
Like, I got in.
She told me it was love at first sight.
No. Like
Actually, they went on a birthday date.
Yeah, we went on a birthday date. But yeah, so like I just took that time to,
take some time off.
take some time off.
So you think that'll happen at 40?
No, like now I feel.
What do you feel?
Well, I think I shared this with you. Like I'm like really wanting to like get healthy, number one, so I can live a long time, and I just want to like just enjoy my family. And,
yeah.
I've been really saying no to a lot of even opportunities that I might find really interesting. But I said, if this is going to take away from
my time.
So for example, like we were talking about like Mike's going to buy a house in 5 minutes, right? Like I'm not, because if I buy, like I
don't believe you. If an opportunity comes up, guys, and Mike likes it, he's gonna buy it.
So
he's gonna buy it.
But I told Pri, like last time I last time I failed on buying that house, I told Pri that I'd have to take on I think it was like
30 hours more hours.
Yeah, 30. Like so I'd have to add an hour and a half to my work day every day. So that was like, and I told her specifically how many more appointments that I need to book, because I'm a psychopath. I like put everything in kind of
so crazy
tally, so I know exactly how much money I make every time I do an appointment. Like, so,
wow.
And
God,
I'm like,
I wish I knew that.
Because when you know that, it's just like, oh, you just take another appointment and then I make the money.
I know, but the appointment thing, I'm like, how do you know if that appointment works?
You don't know, but it's a shooting percentage.
Yeah. I know.
It's basically based on strictly on shooting percentage. I said I'd have to go on, another 10 like listing or buying appointments a month to make enough money to make this make sense in 5 years. And so
she was like, no.
Well, she wasn't no. She's like, she was very kind of hesitant about it, so she didn't want me to lose that time. But I said, like, if this is gonna make us happy, so we didn't win obviously we didn't win the house.
Yes.
But
Tower was not the one.
so it's not the right fit, and that's not really my style too. To kind of like really, I would have maybe overextended myself, but I did extended myself.
You have I think you could have done some other things with that, but I think you are so regimented with all these things that you wouldn't Do you know what I mean? Like you could have been like, I'm going to sell this to do this.
Yeah, I don't
But
want
you
to
don't
sell
wanna do it.
anything. I
He's-
don't like
He believes in like collecting, where I'm like, let's sell off everything.
hoarder over here.
Hoarder. Okay, anyway.
Yeah.
So I think you're right. I think
So, okay,
your
so is it-
40, your 40-year-old self, when you're thinking, so we're back to revenue streams. I don't know
Right.
how we come on.
Yeah,
we obviously don't like revenue streams.
No, we
right?
love. I love
pull it
revenue
around.
streams. Okay,
Pull it around.
so we're pulling it around. So revenue streams is identifying where you're getting your most clients. So mine is obviously sphere of influence and past clients. And what's your number one?
Past clients, yeah.
Past clients, right? So like once you know that is building.
But that was not always the case. My first, like for people that are out there listening, it was open houses. I would collect. I remember like every weekend my goal was to meet 8 new groups of people, like 8 new groups. And these clients are still with me today.
Yeah.
And I just sold one of them a 3-bedroom condo, and I'm selling their penthouse right now. Like they bring me their client, their friends. And so like really just figuring out what's going to be your best way of prospecting and put your best time into it. I love open houses though. I used to love them way more. I remember when I first met Mike, he's like, your open house hit is crazy. I remember you saying that you need to do more open houses. And then I didn't want to do them anymore. There was a point where I was like, this is
So
too
there's
much.
a point in a relationship focused business where basically, you just focus on doing activities that are in your kind of your wheelhouse, the thing that is delivering the most
To you.
funds. So like, there's something called the 80-20 rule. So what's delivering you 80% of the results, you spend 80% of the effort. So for example, if most of your clients come from relationship and referral based business, but you're not doing anything to encourage, incentivize, or start that kind of thing, like to encourage more referrals and relationship focused business, basically you're really missing out on the heart and soul of the business. So yeah.
So how are people? So let's take that a little further for that revenue stream. People obviously open houses, door knocking. Let's just say you're doing tons of work off of Real Geeks on your social media and REW. You can double up on that. Past clients, a lot of people always ask me, like, I have a lot for my past clients. What are some ways of me, other than just picking up the phone and connecting with them, what are other ways for me to push that 80-20 rule on them, right?
Right. So, it's all about creating what we call like a communication ecosystem. So basically, phone call is one directive, but also obviously setting meetings with them.
Yeah.
I have one of my best clients. I meet them every month. We go for a happy hour. We or a coffee or something, just once, or lunch. And we're like friends now. We're just once a month. We just connect, and one of my best developer clients, and we meet up every month.
Love that. Clockwork.
Like clockwork. And I set the intention to let's meet up. We'll just catch up, and we have a really fun time together too. So it doesn't feel like work, but we do talk about work. We talk about what we're investing in and stuff like that. And, we talk about family and renos and cool stuff like that. So just build that connection and relationship. So, there's face-to-face, there's phone calls, there's text, there's email campaigns, there's direct messages on social media. So basically it's kind of like creating a ecosystem for encouraging more referrals and relationship focused business.
This is one way of a great way of. I recently started doing this. Is all my clients are on my social media network, and then when I see their profile, I make a comment.
Yeah.
Because I think that that's also really encouraging them, right? So it's about kind of inspiring them to come back to you and call you, and I find that's a huge way. But connecting with your clients is super
I think
important.
I think what I've seen from a lot of agents that do really well on social is the direct message.
Yeah.
So like their client or something would post a story about their birthday party, and instead of just like liking it, they would message them directly and say,
so great to see you doing well.
Yeah, it's like awesome. We
Yeah.
got to get caught up. I got to take you out for your birthday, and then it's kind of builds a relationship and kind of move forward from there. So, that's one revenue stream, but obviously I had others too. I had open houses as one of my revenue streams for probably 12, 13 years. Like I could count about 1 out of 4 open houses I would get a listing or a buyer from it.
Yes.
So like that would close that same year. So I had 12 to 20 sales a year coming from open houses. But then, in time and when, you calculate your dollar per hour, at some point it doesn't make sense to kind of continue to do those open houses. And like that was a few years ago for me. So like, yeah, so like understanding your ratios and your closing ratios is key.
I think that that's a great way of kind of revenue stream, keeping track of it, which is really key, and not being afraid to kind of reach out to those people. It's always scary.
Yeah. So if you're looking to expand your business through like kind of identifying your revenue streams, one is obviously identifying them, and second is to decide whether or not to double down on certain activities that you're doing, or to add new revenue streams. So if like you're not doing open houses, maybe you do open houses to add that revenue stream, or maybe if you're, thinking about. So you can do other activities, or you can double down on the ones you're already doing. So if you're doing like one face-to-face a week, maybe you do 3 face-to-face per week, and then kind of.
Yeah, it's like slowly coming off on it for sure. And like I think revenue streams it's a huge part for you to keep on expanding them. I think that's always like the big thing. Like if your past clients asking for the business, right now, everybody should be asking for the business. People are afraid to ask for the business. It's like always a topic of conversation for us. Like really being like, hey, let's just say John. So like, I'm so happy to hear from you. You're like, I hope you're liking the new property, blah, blah, blah. And then they'll say something like, oh, well, how's the market doing? Like, that's always the question. How's the market doing? And you bring up some really good new ideas and opportunities, which we've always talked about, giving more opportunities to people is super key right now. Yeah. I don't know, for revenue. Yeah.
So, when we talk about this is important for a mature real estate business, and even a starting real estate business to understand is like where your revenues are coming from. And, I think identifying those and making sure that they're healthy and that they're predictable is a really key to unlocking that consistent revenues coming in. Sometimes it's funny. So some agents are like, I need like 7 revenue streams. That's not necessarily true. You want so for example, like McDonald's has 2 revenue streams, coffee and hamburgers, right? So they're big on coffee, big on hamburgers, but they're, when they get into pizza, they tried pizza, it didn't work out.
Pizza.
And so
let's bring it back.
Yeah. So let's bring it back to coffee and hamburgers. So so those are the revenue streams, and just fortifying them, like building plans. And
you don't have to do everything. I think that's the takeaway from this podcast.
I think tops you should have 3, 2, 3, 4
2,
tops.
3.
Yeah, some agents in our office just have 1 that's really good.
Yeah, 1 that's very good. I think also like when you're dealing with 3 or 4 or 5, you end up doing the top 3 very poorly.
Yeah.
So just choose 2, and again, it's about consistency. It's like coming back to it and saying, okay, these 3 things are going to constantly give me business. Let's just keep on hitting them as much as they can.
Totally.
For me, it's past clients, social, sphere of influence, and advertise like flyers and that kind of thing. Lately, everybody like Google reviews has been like number 1 for people.
Really?
Yeah. I actually someone found me on Google's reviews the other day.
Oh, wow.
It's really weird. I was like, okay. I don't have anybody that has 5 stars on there. I'm like, what? I'm like, yeah. And then we found your website, and then they find you.
I think people they Google you and they do their research. So Google reviews are pretty good.
Social proof is huge.
Yeah, social proof. Like I
thought about that actually on a flyer. If you were to put like 5 stars, because Yelp is like your number 1 thing right now. Like when you go out to eat, or when you travel, it's Yelp. People like 5 stars. It's like, even when we talk about the platform, it's like 5 stars. What if you on a flyer you put like 5 stars and like a couple testimonials?
Yeah, that's something good and creative.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Something different. Whoever's listening, tell me if you think that's a good idea.
It could definitely work. So yeah, just really understanding what revenue streams are, because I think a lot of that's the difference between a realtor and a business owner.
Yes.
A realtor kind of just flies by the seat of their pants. They're just kind of eating what they're, whatever comes their way.
Yeah.
But a business owner is really plotting and planning and identifying what those revenue streams are. So hopefully we're all kind of moving in that direction to become business owners.
I love it.
Okay.
Thanks so much,
Thanks, guys.
If you guys liked our podcast,
Yep.
go on that platform and rate me that 5 out of 5 that we're talking about. And if you'd like to talk a little bit about Oakwyn, go to oakwyn.com/join and put in that message box pod 2020. You'll get a mystery swag piece. Thanks so much for listening, guys. And we will talk to you soon.
Wait, hold on a second.
Wait, what?
Don't put Pod 2020 in there. Put Evolve.
Oh my goodness. Right, Podfather?
Right?
You're right, Podfather. Evolve 2022. This beer is starting to get to me.
Yeah, and you don't even have the double IPA.
I know. Thanks so much, guys, and have a great day.